Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Motifs notebook and pen holder. It's just a little notepad from Amazon, but it's a really nice one to pop in a bag, give to a friend, keep for yourself. So here, beautiful Motifs set, which is part of the Beautiful Gallery suite. So it's these ones here, and I'm using the little Just a Note because, you know, notebook, and I'm using these incredible dies here, which partly cut and partly just kind of score bits in between, I guess. And then also I'm using the amazing party alphabet dies here. So my lady's going to be able to choose their letter or a letter of somebody they're going to give this to, and I'm using these foils here. These are an online exclusive, and they come 3 colors. So you've got the, I guess it's like does it actually say the colors? Yeah, cloud cover, pretty in pink, and strawberry slush. So I'm using the pretty in pink and cloud cover. I'm not sure if the strawberry slush went with my kind of colour options. So let me show you the supplies you need. Very few actually. You need a piece of pretty Peacock cardstock. Now this measures 5 3/4 inches by 9 3/8. I've measured it to this, but I'll explain that you just need 3/8 of an inch on these pieces here. For the pen holder, whatever size notebook you have. So you can resize if you need to, but I'll pop the link for the notebooks that I used in the links below. And by the way, just so you know, all of the supplies I use are always listed below, and you can just click on the link and it take you right to my online shop so that you can buy them directly with me. So this piece is cloud cover, and this measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/2 inches. And then pre-cut these for class, so I'm just going to use this really sweet one here today. So this little piece, I mean, you can just cut them straight from the sheet, but this measures 2 inches by 2 1/2 inches. This I worked out that I think it was the M and the W is probably a bit bigger, actually, the biggest ones here. So yeah, so I thought I'd make one for both of my girls and for me. So because I need 3 samples for my class, so I'll probably do bows today. Maybe I'll do mine actually. Okay, so I'll leave that there. I'll just bring in my Simply Scored. Very simple. Once you've worked it out, I'm just gonna see where I'm in shot because there's quite a lot of glare from the window today. Okay, so ignore these. You're going to score on the long side at 4 1/8, 4 1/2 inches, and 4 7/8 of an inch. Now, so these are all 3/8 of an inch. So depending on how wide or how narrow your notebook is, do that accordingly. But this piece here will be a bit wider than this one here. Okay, so if you get a different notebook, you might need to just you know, have a little workout there. So what we're going to do, fold on all the score lines, just folding away from me, and you'll see it's not even purposely. I chose Pretty Peacock because I've been using Secret Sea a lot recently, and I didn't want it to be quite that dark, but also I just thought if it's going in a bag or something, if it's going to be a background of white, it might get a bit dirty looking quickly. So I thought this went well with the cloud cover. Okay, so now I've scored on all of those score lines, all in the same direction. I'm just going to find the middle one, fold it in half here. And with the smaller side showing on top, you can see I've got this piece is the back piece behind. So with the smaller side on top, I'm just going to take my snips and I'm going to cut the pen holder. So I've gone near the top here. You could go further down if you wanted, but I'm going to go about here, I think. And then about 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch, something like that, just up to that score line. So you've cut through both sides there, with the smaller side on top. Okay, so now have it round this way. So you've got the bigger piece showing underneath, and open it up. That's going to be your base. There's a reason for me doing this. And then we're going to use some tear and tape. You could use glue if you wanted to, but you'll need to hold it there for quite some time. And you want to put your tape on the, so this is the back because it's the longer side. So you've got a small kind of section here, another small section, and then the front. Okay, so on the back, then on the next section here, you're going to put tape, but not covering that pen holder bit. Okay, so there and there. So again, if you had glue, that's where you would put it. Let me hold that up to you there. So this is the longer piece. When you fold it in half at the back, open it up, that's now the back, and then it's the section next to this piece. So we're going to take the tape off. See if I can see my take a picture, which I never can when I'm filming. It's around here somewhere. Okay, now we are going to fold the back over, not in half this time, on this first score line here. So the tape's here, and so we're just folding it so now becomes a shorter side. Okay, give it a really good press. So flip it over. Now we've got all of these sections on this side, and this is going to be your pen holder here. So inside, I'm just going to put my finger in and just poke that out, that little section, and then you can just crease it like that. Okay, so that's how we get our little shape here. So you can see why we need slightly longer on the back here than the front, so it's like 3/8 longer there if you're trying to recreate it with a different size. Okay, where did I put my notebook? So when I put this in, I've just butted it against here, and I've left a little gap top and bottom. So I'm just going to pop that in with some glue. Some liquid glue. You could of course use tear and tape, but I quite like this because we can reposition. Just don't get too close to the edges. I'm going to spin it around a bit so I can see kind of where I'm going. So like I say, butt it right up to this edge here. If you do move it, just bear in mind your glue underneath will move a bit. You don't want to end up with too many sticky bits. And then you can just press down on the top here, or on your notebook here. There, ta-da! So once you've got the measurements, it's super simple. Okay, so let's put that to one side, and we're going to work on this layer now. So I've chosen out of these dies, and you could choose the same or different. You could just choose this leafy one. Am I still in shot there? Yeah. Okay, so I wanted this quite far over on this side to still get the letter in, and then this little one down in the corner here, I think gives that nice little texture there, and all these little bits pop up, so it's really cute. And then at the same time, I'm going to cut my letter on here from the alphabets, which are massive, this big set here. So I'm going to do mine this one, so I'm going to choose the T. Actually, just before I cut those, I'm using this sweet little kind of florally, I don't know what it is actually, just like a background stamp. And I don't know if you can see, I've done it really faintly over here. So what I've done is I've stamped in cloud cover, but I've stamped off first onto a piece of scrap. I actually want to use this again when I'm filming, so I'm going to bring in another piece of grid that I'm done with. So what I did was kind of look to see where there's going to be a bit showing, and so ink it up. This is the stamp pad that they can't guarantee the quality of the colour. I think it's still available on the clearance rack, but actually I think it's perfectly fine, or mine was. So I'm going to put some about there. You can see it's nice and delicate. In fact, you probably can't even see it at all. And then I'm going to put a little bit down here, and it just helped to break up some of that background where there wasn't some other detail. So it's really, really faint, but it does make a difference. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut these little pieces. As you can see, they're going to take up the bits around that little bit of detail there. Okay, so on this one I did try and get it quite straight because I want to use as well the background piece. So I'm going to put this back in for my class. Okay, so oops, I'm going to use the background piece as well, but you could just use the letter if you prefer. I've also gone ahead and cut myself these two bits here, so just with the smallest banner from Stylish Shapes, which I'm actually using I think on all my projects this month. And then I'm going to pull these out. This one you need to be a bit careful with. I do need my take pick tool, really. Oh, here's an old one. It's very old. You see how old? Because it just helps to release these little points here. So just really gently pull those up. It's so pretty, isn't it? Right, these are going back in for class. But you can see these just pop up from the back. Woo, that was a bit poppy. And they, like I say, they will sit back down again. On this one, I actually popped some dimensionals under some of them, but I don't think that actually made a difference. I think you'd have to put them further back this way. I put them down here, but anyway, you could give it a go if you want to. And then while we're about it, I'm just going to stamp this a little bit. So just to note, that is from the same bundle from Beautiful Motifs. Don't need that piece, so I'm going to stamp in Pretty Peacock just to tie all that in. Just try not to get my head in. There we go. Right, let's bring in our notepad. So this is all dried. So we're going to stick this one on top. Now I've put it on dimensionals because I really want to highlight how these are popping up. So let's flip this over, and they will go back down at this point while you're popping some dimensionals on. And you'll need quite a few just to pop them up. And then if you have some mini dimensionals, or you could just cut some bits along the edge along here, just fill in a couple of these. I know it seems a bit excessive, but it really is good to prop it up. I've put one in the middle of here, actually, and I was putting some down here. Maybe I'll try further up, see what happens there. Don't do this until I've until I've worked out if it looks good. Now, I appreciate that's a lot, but I think with a nice project like this, you know, it's worth, what are these, a few pence each, aren't they? It's worth like kind of splashing out there, I feel. Okay, so we're going to hover that over so that it's got pretty even border all the way around. Give it a press. Now, did this work? I don't actually know that it did. No, I wouldn't worry about these, to be honest. I think they just sit up quite well on their own anyway. So, yeah, so that will save you a few. In fact, I think it stuck it down more. Let's get rid of those. How cute is that? Gorgeous. Okay, so this one I'm going to sit down flat, and then this one I'm going to prop up on dimensionals. You could also, of course, just use, I always do my nails just for class, and it's they're quite short, so I can't pick things up. So you could also just use that piece on there, and you could put it a little bit of an angle or something. You've got a bit more of an option there, but I'm going to, I mean, it would probably look better with a letter that's not quite as symmetrical as my name or my initial. Okay, so I'm going to pop some blue on here. Okay, carefully pick it up because we don't want to be covered in it. I think this end's got less. You sort of tuck it under that little leaf there, and just try and position it up in this corner. There we go. And then flip this one over. I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back. Or you could put the strips if you've got those as well. They would work really well. I've just got my dimensionals here, so they sit quite well behind here. Oh, probably didn't need it in the middle there. Let's move it to one side slightly. Cool. You can take your time again positioning them so that they're not absolutely not showing, but, or you can use your minis. Okay, and then this just sinks in to the gap. I'm just going to put it up so I can see where I'm going. I just quite like that little bit of detail where it was popped up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to just take these two little pieces here, put some glue in the middle, and offset these two. And I'm going to put some, actually I'll put a little strip of the dimensional piece along here. Let's definitely use up these bits because they're really handy along the edges. Perfect for these little banners and for the letters actually. And see, I'm going to pop that across there, and then I'm just going to finish off with some good old rhinestones because, you know, why not? Love rhinestones. So just pop one there, I think in the middle here. I just put one down here on my original, but I might just put it on the edge of this one here. So I hope you've enjoyed making my beautiful Motifs notebook and pen holder. Take care, see you soon, bye.